What's happening, everybody, and happy weekend as we continue off week 3 of the NFL preseason. As we had 2 games last night, we were able to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, and also we were able to watch the New England Patriots play the New York Giants. The Steelers, their game wasn't too entertaining. I'll just put it to you that way. They played the Carolina Panthers, and starters didn't really play too much, and it was Skylar Thompson, and Pittsburgh ended up winning the game 19-10. But there wasn't much to watch for there. Now, New England and New York, there was something to watch for there, as we got to see Jackson Dart, and the kid looks good, man. The Giants, they keep impressing with this pick, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson Dart is their starter before you know it. I don't think he's going to start the season as their starter, but overall, this is a stat line from preseason. He went 32 for 47, 372 passing yards, and 4 total touchdowns, 3 passing and 1 rushing. He had no interceptions, and I mean, the kid just keeps balling out and keeps playing well. And I mean, he showed it all, a little bit of everything today or last night in the game. And so I just think that the Giants found something, and that team's got good chemistry, rolling out of the preseason. Obviously, I think Russell Wilson will be their starter for week 1, but kind of curious. I would like to look at their schedule because I want to see, when do we think Jackson Dart will become the New York Giants starting quarterback? And I'm looking at the schedule right now. So they open up at Washington. You would think that's a loss. At Dallas. You would think that's a loss, but divisional games, those can go either way. So let's give them a win in one of those 2 games, 1-1. Kansas City, probably a loss. Chargers, not an easy game, but oh man, I mean, you would think a loss, but things could get feisty even with Russell Wilson. I mean, Malik Neighbors is a great receiver. So the Giants are a sleeper team. Then they play the Saints. That should be a win. Then Philly, Denver, Philly again. All right, here come the losses probably. So let's say they beat the Chargers, and let's say they beat the Saints. Let's say they're 3-2. Now you get 3 losses in a row. Philly, at Denver, Philly again, even though it's divisional. But now we're looking at 3-5. Then you know what? They might get to the bye week. Then San Francisco at home. And then at Chicago, let's say that's a split. So 4-6, Green Bay should be a loss, and Detroit should be a loss. 4-7, 4-8 at New England. And let's say that's a loss. 4-9, bye week. Do you put in Jackson Dart then for the final 4 games? I mean, I would think he'd come in maybe earlier, but the way the schedule breaks out for them, I don't know that they'll be too far off unless Russell Wilson just plays like complete trash. But I think Russell Wilson is still average and pretty solid. So, you know what? They got something good. Keep that energy rolling. Let Russell Wilson get reps. Let Jackson Dart keep learning. And after that week 14 bye week, maybe you put him in for the final 4. They're at home against Washington, at home against Minnesota, then at the Raiders, and at home against Dallas. Maybe you let Jackson Dart finish off the season on a high note, and then you're off to next year feeling great with whatever high pick you get again. So, all right, then maybe Jackson Dart's got some time. But anywho, week 3 preseason's here, the last week finally, and then we get the regular season. So what are we looking for? So I wrote down a couple things that we should be looking for and a couple players to be watching. And we'll start with Caleb Williams because the Bears are playing their starters. And Ben Johnson gave us a little sneak peek, and the Bears and Caleb Williams looked phenomenal last week. It is preseason, and we have to give that caveat. But ultimately, this is what good offense looks like. It's on time. It's on rhythm. They play the Buffalo Bills, and they're second and third stringers, yes, but they played well. You can't take that away from them. So I want to see Caleb Williams and the offense. They play the Chiefs. The Chiefs apparently are going to play their starters too. So those first couple drives should be really interesting. That kicks us off tonight at 5:20 West Coast time, 8:20 Eastern. So that'll be the first thing to look for. Second thing I'm looking at is the Colts at the Bengals tomorrow. And how's Anthony Richardson going to respond to the fact that he was essentially benched? And they said Daniel Jones is going to be our starter. I want to see how he looks. Of course, I want to see how Shedeur Sanders looks. That is Also at 1 p.m. Eastern time, the Rams play at the Cleveland Browns. We have been told by Kevin Stefanski, Joe Flacco will start, Dillon Gabriel will play some, and Shedeur Sanders will play for some. And honestly, when I say Shedeur Sanders, I want to see Dillon Gabriel too, because I think these two guys are promising rookies. Gabriel is more likely to play in the NFL sooner, just because from what we're hearing from NFL people, he's more on time, on schedule, and all that. So interested to see how that plays out. Then Houston at Detroit. And honestly, I'm going to say this. Detroit's got a wide receiver on them that's kind of nice. Isaac Tesla is his name. And this kid has been balling on the preseason. If he has another impact game in week 3 of the preseason, he might be wide receiver 3 for them going into the year already. And we know Detroit's offense, of course, with Ben Johnson was great, but I still think they got talent. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jared Goff, I don't think is going to just turn into a pumpkin. So if they got another weapon there at receiver, that's huge. And another couple things I watch is I want to see if Travis Hunter is going to play. He's been banged up. He came back to practice. They had joint practices. And I'd like to see, if he plays, how's he playing? How's Jacksonville using him offensively, defensively, etc. And also the Tampa Bay wide receivers, because they have a deep wide receiver room and someone's going to have to get cut. And so their depth chart is pretty deep. And they already have announced that essentially their rookie, Emeka Egbuka, is already going to be the wide receiver 2 starting the season. So it's going to be Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka. And then you still got Chris Godwin, who's still banged up, but coming back from injury. Jalen McMillan, Trey Palmer, Tez Johnson. I mean, they got a lot of guys on here. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm so excited. Finally, the last week of preseason, and then that's a wrap. And then we're on to the regular season. And obviously, I can't wait to do more podcasts then. Please subscribe, like, comment, and I'm excited to talk some sports. And here we go, baby. Football is just less than 2 weeks away. Let's get it.